Welcome to the Bold Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I know we are used to our usual background. Now, this one, I'm shooting this video in some studio because of, as those who are in Nairobi know, there is a power problem. There is a total blackout going on. And of course, my place is also affected. So I'm shooting at some makeshift studio. Now, William Samoei Ruto is actually acting in panic. And looking at the latest events that have been going on in the country, the fact that he's in a panic mode is making him commit more mistakes on the way. But before we look at the danger of that panic, I want to tell you that yesterday, Raila Odinga was speaking in a press briefing. And while pressing government amidst the conversation about the high taxation, he said that if the UDA administration will use their vote majority in the National Assembly to pass the finance bill without placing even a comma, despite of undertaking public participation from Kenyans, then they will be left with no option, but Kenyans will have to come out and fight for themselves in what will signal a recall of mass action. The reason why I can tell you that Raila Odinga is even talking about the possibility of recalling that mass action is because he has realized William Ruto is in panic. And I need to say that before that mass action was cancelled, before actually it was temporarily stopped, there was perception from the government side that probably it's been neutralized, but that was not it. Now, there are three indicators that I want you to pay attention to, and one of them is the endless promises. Whenever President William Ruto is before Kenyans or is having a microphone before, in front of people, he is under pressure to say something new, or he's under pressure to excite the crowd. And because of that pressure, he's found himself making more mistakes and controversial statements against what actually Kenyans expect. And I want to use a very good example. When the president was meeting Women League, some women leaders in Nairobi in KCC in February, I think that was the launch of the Hustler Fund, the product that was targeting the SMEs. He mentioned that he will be planning, or he's planning, to reduce the tax on gas, so that it will retail from 2,500 to 2,000 to 300, 500. And of course, we said, as our political observers, we said that was a tall order and it was not a possibility. And because of that promise, when he was appearing in that interview, you know, it was a very laughing and a very wrong, a very unfortunate event, when the president then changed and said that he was talking about leave alone gas, we are talking about the cylinder. You know, and I think I wanted to get that sound bite here.
Nataka kina mama wa Kenya wanisikize vizuri. Jambo la ine, Kenya yetu 99% ni kina mama. Si ni kweli? Na ili tupunguze gharama ya gas, tumesema tunaondoa ushuru. Namba 2, ile mtungi mnanunua kuanzia mwezi wa 6, hiyo mtungi itatoka shilingi 2,800 mpaka shilingi 500 ama 300.
Kenya kwamba
budget tukipitisha, budget tukipitisha tutapunguza gharama ya gesi
kati ya shilingi 300 na 500 kwa mtungi.
Kwanza mtungi, wacha gas, ile tunapunguza kati ya shilingi 300 na 500 ni mtungi yenyewe. Ndio sasa uongeze gas ndani yake. Sasa mimi nataka nikuulize wewe, hii ni nchi ambayo inafuata sheria. Yeah? Si umesikia huyu bwana akiniuliza utafanya ni kwa sababu gani? We are a country governed by the rule of law. No. Nimekueleza. Kama tungepitisha hiyo mswada kutumia supplementary budget, mwezi wa 6 ingewezekana.
Now look at that. You know, it was, in fact, to say the truth, that is it's very shameful. You know, it's just irresponsible. I think it's just being irresponsible with actually those promises, because there is no way you can change the discussion. Who is even busy with the cylinder? People want the gas. You know, it's like saying, I want to reduce the price of gunia, not the maize, the gunia that carries the maize. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now, I want us to look at the second indicator that there is a bit of panic within the Ruto's inner circle. Before that, I need to remind us that we are finishing Mzee Ruben's fundraiser tomorrow. I'm kind of reaching out to you to help us fill the gap that was remaining. We're remaining with a deficit of 20,000. So we're going to send it Thursday tomorrow in the morning for those who are pledged. And also, I also ask you, let's try to push as little as you are 50, as you are 100, as that you can get. We help us finish and reach that target. He's suffering hemorrhoids, this Mzee here, and he is in Mukumu Hospital in Kakamega, due for a surgery that is supposed to cost 50,000, and that is what we were pushing through to make sure. So I'm still asking you, let's stand in the gap for the old man, so that on Thursday morning, tomorrow, we shall be able to send what we shall have collected. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at the second bit. If you look at the UD activities that are going on in the Western Belt, and look at this video here, it is a video of Ruto addressing some crowd, not Ruto, or rather UDA leaders. They have dispatched, and a lot of resources has been dispatched in the Western Belt, the Western and the Nyanza region, and UDA is trying to make a lot of political infiltration. I was, someone just referred to my previous analysis and also told me that if Mombasa is also the same. By the way, people who are in, I was told of Kilifi, by the way. People who are in Kilifi, if you're in Kilifi, you can also make us, share with us those images or those videos so that we also show Kenyans what's going on. The political panic can also be seen in the way they've dispatched a team to smoothen the population in the Western Belt and in the coastal region. Those two regions have really been targeted in the latest UDA activities. They're really putting money, pouring money there, giving people the UDA merchandise, you know, the yellow shirts and the capes, and now talking about politics of William Ruto in the context of 2027. But it's far. So what does that tell you here is he actually knows very well that that second term is not guaranteed, and the contest is going to be very tough because of the first reason I mentioned to you of those unmet pledges. So that's also one thing that is seen. Thirdly, President has made a lot of trips, foreign trips, and these foreign trips have really been seen, we've been told, as looking for money in the guise of economic recovery, while we have also criticized that we are gobbling a lot of taxpayers' money in some trips that are actually valueless, or they're not adding value to the economy. But I've just come to know that President Ruto is doing a lot of, is trying to establish international footprint. He's really trying to establish himself in the international space, because he actually came to power when that is one thing that he was really lacking. And I can tell you that Rigathi Gachagua could also be going through the same fate. I don't think that Rigathi Gachagua, since he became a deputy president, he has never made a single trip to Europe. You know, the trips he has made is Bujumbura, here in Africa, there is the Angola, and then recently Botswana. So he has not even gone to allied countries like South Africa and even Egypt. He has not. Rigathi is yet to step to Europe, I can tell you. And by there, remain with me, I'll make a very good analysis about that. I think people had really been asking me why Rigathi is yet to step to Europe. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that these trips is just trying to sort the international network as it tries to establish his power. But then, the fact that Ruto is acting in panic is what is making the Raila Odinga wing to push for mass action, for resumption of mass action. In fact, I can tell you, I once analyzed here that mass action is a political agitation tool. It's one of the tools that is there. And I want to play for you a clip here of some lady, some woman who is saying about we can remove you from power and bring in the person. It shows the extent of frustration from the population, and it's going to paint us a very good picture of what exactly we're talking about here.
Nasema hivi, kitambo katiba ilikuwa hakukuwa na katiba, lakini sasa sisi ndio tuko na uwezo vile mnasema. Kama tumeumizwa na tumekuwa tukitanganywa kila wakati, sisi Wakenya tuko na uwezo wa kusema tumeungana na tunataka kutoa William Ruto na kufanya uchaguzi mwingine. Na hatutakuwa tukidanganywa. Hao watu wamejiunga vikundi, sasa hivi wameenda kwa maongeo. Maongeo gani wanaongea na Raila? Raila ni watoto wa Raila, Uhuru na hawa William Ruto, sasa wako na pesa. Sisi tumekuwa tukidanganywa, hata kudanganywa. Sisi Wakenya tunasema tuseme hatutadanganywa. Tuko na uwezo wa kusema aondoke. Tuchague rais mwingine haraka. Hata mnaweza chagua mama kama mwingine. Anaweza kuweka sawa sawa. Haki yetu. Tutamwondoa pia tulimweka. Hapo sisema mambo ya ukabila, hakuna mkabila hata mmoja. Mimi ni Mkikuyu na ninajua kujifanyia kazi.
Now, I fully support that lady. And I want to tell you why. There is a lot of political conmanship going on, and I think the hustler is being conned in the altar of political kindness. The hustler is being conned. And if Raila Odinga decides to say, I'm going to look and head back to the people, then this will be William Ruto's biggest headache as we speak now. Because the timing from June is going to be anytime. If Raila calls mass action after June, after this budget, I listened to Cherargei saying that we want to pass the Finance Bill 2023 without placing a comma or anything. We are not going to edit the Finance Bill. And the Finance Bill, the backbone of it is about overtaxation. I listened to recently the president speaking in Nyandarua that has pulled down, I think, 20 areas where he's reduced taxes. They're not as essential, mostly affecting, those are just taxes that government are collecting, and it's affecting some non-strategic sectors. But this one that touches on hustler is on the cost of living. As we speak now, we have a problem with the cost of sugar. And the reason why this will be William Ruto's biggest headache is, number one, as we talk now, the civil servants issued strike notice. There is a strike notice from lecturers, teachers, and doctors. In fact, Nurses Union, I think, issued a 60-day strike notice. And what that shows here is we have disgruntled public service, civil service. Because the civil service is disgruntled, they would actually take that opportunity. When Raila calls for that mass action, and they will not go to the street. But who tells you they will go to work? They will not go to work because they will actually enjoy when William Ruto is suffering that frustration. And remember, as we talk, the government is employing close to 800,000 Kenyans. Civil servants are close to 800,000. And if I'm not wrong, nearly 30% of that resides here in Nairobi, because this is the headquarters. So, in any case, Raila calls mass action, and then I'm telling you the civil servants will silently be behind it and frustrate any other efforts to bring order to it. Now, leave alone that, apart from that, there is also something I need to bring to your attention. Now, there's some voices of discord that are emerging because of realignments and the jobs that are being given. There are those who are losing jobs and there are those who are being ejected under some corruption scandal. What is happening at KEMSA? There are people that have been sent home or probably suspended and others sacked. And entirely, they are sacked because of listening to calls from the big man. And that has costed someone his job. You know, that has costed someone his job. What exactly is happening here is there are those who have now started taking sides. That I am maybe on side Rigathi, or I'm side Ruto, I'm side Musalia. Because of the caucusing will make it very difficult. And I can tell you that those who, the deputy president who used to wake up at 5 a.m. so that he will strategize on how to come to Raila, you will even be shocked that he will not be so much interested in it. Because there are going to be those moles within the administration that will be behind that mass action. Lastly, any sort of mass action is calling political mobilization. And political mobilization is what William Ruto doesn't want. Now, a situation where Kenyans converge around a specific idea. For example, the question of taxation, I agree with those political experts that were saying that the Azimio wing are doing less. This is the time that they should have taken time to organize town hall meetings and take that document, the finance bill, and explain to the public, because no one is doing that. Even government is not spending a lot, even in the mainstream, to educate the public about it. So that they educate the public about what is there and what is the danger and what will be the alternative. If they will do that and maintain that, then they can actually hold grip of the population. Instead of waiting for it to be passed, then after it is passed, as it is, then you go back and plan for that mass action. I agree with those who are saying they would have taken the route of educating the public and telling the public about it. I know it's not their responsibility, but they also have the resource and the capacity to mobilize. So what William Ruto will not want is mobilization of the masses around an ideology like that of taxation. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my point, why I see that Ruto is acting in panic, and that is going to be a big headache for him coming here in future. Thank you for watching, and let's meet in the next. I'm still reaching out to those of us. Let's help release Mzee from the hospital. The little that is remaining, we are remaining with a balance of 20,000, which have given us an extension of 1 day, and tomorrow at 8, I believe that we shall have at least improved, and then we shall send to the family. Thank you very much.